what's up you guys, the Curious Owl here, and today I have a video going over essentially the rules and regulations for a new series that I am going to be doing to help my reading, and it's going to be in like a vlog format, so let's get into it. So I have decided that in order to help with the fact that I have a large catalog of physical books, Kindle books, and audiobooks through like Audible and stuff, and I still also have a large list of books I would like to read that I don't currently own, I am creating a series that I've kind of seen done throughout like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you know, all the different things, where basically people are randomizing what book they get out of their physical library, but I am adding also the ability to get books from the library because I also want to utilize my local library more. In the last few months, I've fallen into the habit of not doing so because mostly I've been in a bit of a reading slump, and whenever I do get books, I just purchase them, and I'm trying to also limit my book buying habit a little bit again because I don't really have the funds for it, and I need to really hone in on my finances for a lot of things. So basically decided to create this randomized kind of deal of getting books and or reading books off of my physical TBR or other things. So with that being said, this is going to have a large caveat of rules. We have 10 rules that we have to follow over the course of this. So let's get into it. The first rule, obviously, number one, no buying new books. I cannot buy any books over the course of this. And what we will be doing is basically having vlogs where on YouTube there will be every 5 books I will have a vlog dedicated to those 5 books or however many it ends up being depending on what the result is, which we'll get into in a little bit. So essentially we'll have a long form vlog, and then on Instagram and TikTok you guys will be getting like little mini reviews of each individual book that I will be getting through in this entire series, and then basically we'll just kind of go from there, and we're going to try to whittle down as much as I can. The second rule is that it is totally okay for me to do rereads. I can choose to do a reread of a book that maybe I've already read before, but it has to be for 2 reasons. Either I have to be completely up for it, or if it's a book that is in a series I want to continue or whatever, I can reread a book to refresh myself on the series if I'm like in the middle of a series but I haven't finished it because it's been so long since I read those books. That rule number 3 is that all series must be completed entirely before I end up picking a new book. So this is where the number of books per vlog could differ a little bit, because if for instance I pick like the Mortal Instruments series, that series has like, you know, 5 books in the main series. I won't be doing the whole world, mind you, but in the series of the Mortal Instruments, I have to read every single one of the books that I have not read and possibly reread the others if I need a refresher before I continue with another book. So that way I can complete series finally, I can make sure that I get them done, and then it also just, you know, adds to the total books that I read. Number 4, if I have a number, basically the book lands on a book that's in the middle of a series and I haven't read that series as of yet. So for instance, if like the book lands in the middle of a series but I haven't even started the first book in that series as of yet, I have to go back to the first book and read that, obviously. Rule number 5 though basically kind of like helps with that because there's a book within a world. I don't count it as part of the series. So for instance, if I was to read the Mortal Instruments, I only read the ones in the Mortal Instruments series. I do not go on to the Infernal Devices after that. I do not go on to the other books in that series. But if there are books in a world, like it doesn't count as like a whole long-standing series kind of thing. Like I don't jump back to the Mortal Instruments just because I ended up with an Infernal Devices book. I read the Infernal Devices and then move on from there. Number 6, and one that is going to be one of the most important rules of this whole thing. If I read a book and I rate it 3 stars or lower, and I decide that especially if it's at a 3-star and I find myself that I do not want to continue to have that book, and if I'm not going to reread it at all, it's going to go. We're going to yeet it out of our system. We're going to get it out of here because I am not about to have books in my collection that are books I will not reread that I do not find to be worth my time. With that being said, if I then also, rule number 7, find a book that I have not read yet and I have no interest in reading it anymore, bye-bye. yeet, we are out of here, it is gone. So I do have the ability to basically say, I don't want this anymore, I'm going to get rid of it, and essentially like skip reading that book. But if I do skip it, it has to go. It can't be I skip it because I'm not interested in it at that moment in time and I want to read it later. Like, it has to be I read it then, or if I have no interest in it at that moment, it is gone. Number 8, if I end up DNFing the book or I DNF this series, if I am in the middle of a series, the whole shebang goes away. Bye-bye. We're not going to spend our time with it anymore. It is gone. Rule number 9. Read the format that I get. So if I end up rolling for a physical book, but I have an ebook version or an audiobook version, I don't work on those. I read the format I get, and that is that. And rule number 10, if I find a book at the library that matches a book that I currently own physically or that I own digitally, I can only get that library book copy if it is an audiobook. I will only allow myself to get books I already own from the library if it is the audiobook version, so Libby or Hoopla. It cannot be something that is physical from the library. It cannot be the digital version from the library because I already own it. Why would I go get another copy of it? So with all that, those are the rules. Those are the 10 rules when it comes to this thing. And I'm gonna basically give you a little glimpse as to what this is going to look like by rolling for the very first book for this series, and I'm so excited. I technically am not ready to start it as of yet because I am finishing up currently a book right now, but it's gonna be finished either tonight or tomorrow, and so it'll definitely be something I can start this week as I'm filming this, and I want to give you guys a little taste of what this is gonna look like. So let's start rolling. Please ignore the lawnmower that is going on outside. My window is open because it is devilishly hot up here in the office during the summertime. So the first thing we are going to roll for is, where is the book? Is it going to be something from my physical library, an ebook I own, an audiobook I own? Is it going to be something that I borrow from the library? Is it something that is going to be inspired by social media, where either I will have to find it in the library or in what I physically own? Or do I get to choose on my own? So let's go ahead and roll a d6 and see what we're gonna get. Oh, and that went all the way up here, and it is a 6. I get to pick. We love this. So personally, I think I am going to go with a book that is in my physical library. Kind of feeling like that. So let's go ahead and see what our options are for a physical library book. So now, when it comes to picking my physical book, I have to figure out what shelf am I going to pick from. So for this, we're going to roll a d8. Okay, so I don't have a d8 currently up here with me, so I'm going to use my dice app for this. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to get. Shelf number 6. All right, so here we are in the library. I do have more shelves now because I basically emptied out these ones, and I have another shelf out here in my main office that I also have filled up. So let's count and see which shelf it's going to be. So we have shelf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and shelf 6, which is over here. It's this little 4-cube one. So now we're going to figure out which of these 4 it is going to be, which of these shelves. So for that, we're going to roll a d4 and see what we're going to get. And we get box number, focus please, number 3. So it's going to be the bottom left corner. So that is going to be this shelf right here. And I'm going to count to see how many books are in that shelf, and then we're going to randomize from 1 to whatever number it is, which book it's going to be. We have 14 books on that shelf in particular. So we're going to do a random number between 1 and 14 and see what we get. Okay, so we've got a random number generator right here with min 1, max 14, and let's see what we get. Book number 10. So interestingly enough, we have a bit of a dilemma. So book number 10 on the shelf ended up being The Warlock, the 5th book in the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series by Michael Scott. I am not up to this book yet. It has been a long time since I even read book 1. So that means, per the rules, I have to start at the beginning and I have to read all 6 books in this series. what a way to start off this game. Wow. So the first book, I don't even remember the name of it, but my husband has my physical copy that I have of it downstairs because he was initially going to read it and he has not touched it in quite a few months because he wanted me to have specifically all of the books in the series so that he could read it. Has he moved forward in the first book? Not at all. So we're gonna steal it back from him for a time, and we're gonna physically read all 6 books of The Immortal Secrets of Nicholas Flamel by Michael Scott. So very exciting on that part, but holy crap, I did not expect to get a series the first go around of this game, but it is what it is. I can't complain about it, and I have to read them physically. I cannot get the audiobook versions of. I remember listening to the audiobook of the first book several years ago when I first read it, and it was fine, but I think I would have done better when I read it physically, so we're gonna do that first and see kind of how that goes. So without further ado, that is basically going to be how we're going to read my books at this point in time. This is gonna be kind of my main content going on my channel as of now. Essentially what it's going to be is that each vlog I will start off with basically showing you guys what we're gonna be reading and then going through and continuing. But because the first roll we did of this, the first part of this game ended up being where it's a series, we're gonna have 6 books in one vlog. So it's gonna very likely be a long vlog. I hope you guys are excited for that, and it's gonna be me reading the entire series and giving my reactions to it and all that stuff. But typically the way that it would go is, especially if I worked with standalones or I had like duologies or trilogies going on within, you know, the video itself, it would be about 5 books is my like main limit. Essentially it would be 5 books for every vlog, but in this case, because we're reading a series and it's 6 books, it's going to be one vlog with all 6 books. Now initially, like I said, it's going to be long form content. It's going to be on YouTube, so you get a full vlog on YouTube of every single book and like my full in-depth thoughts about it. On TikTok you guys will get a little bit of a shortened mini review of each individual book, and on Instagram it's going to be also mini reviews, very likely more so like shortened versions of what you'll see on TikTok, and I will have graphics at the end of the month going through basically talking about each of the books that I read, or like, you know, like a wrap-up graphic basically. But very excited to delve into this and see how this project goes and see what it's going to be for me. The rules are subject to change. Things are subject to change as time goes on, and I find ways to make this better for myself and better for any of you if you decide to pick this up yourselves for your own personal TBR. Let me know if you have any questions in terms of the rules or things going on within this, and let me know if you're interested in seeing the vlogs in the future. They are going to be very much inconsistently scheduled. Like when they're done, and so you guys, it might be a couple of weeks, you know, between vlogs, or it might be a month between vlogs. It really just depends on how fast I get through the books, but my hope is that this is going to help me get out of my reading slump and get me back into the swing of reading, and especially with making content involving it and actually being able to like gush and spill all of my thoughts in a long form version, it's going to make it a lot more enticing for me to get through the books a lot faster. So I hope you guys are excited for it. I'm super excited for it, and I can't wait to see what this all entails and what this all is going to involve. But thank you all so much for joining me in this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be and would like to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys.